afternoon. You are tuned into Ability Matters, a program that covers matters to do with abilities, disabilities, and everything in between. Ability Matters is one of the longest-running disability-related programs in the whole wide world. Starting its headway on air in 2007, you can now listen to podcasts of previous Ability Matters programs on YouTube and Spotify. Just search for Ability Matters. Ability Matters is brought to you by My Home Living Care, an NDIS registered disability.
Okay, thanks very much, Sean. Now let's get into the show for today. We're going to start off today with just some music. I'll open up with today some Bruce Springsteen, Dancing in the Dark, from the album Born in the USA, 1984. He released that. Yeah. Okay, yes, that was just Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen from the 1984 album Born in the USA. And now we're going to head over to the interview, between Bec and Monique, yes. That's just my head for you, sorry.
Yes, no, you're all right. It's all good. All good. And we have Monique from Learnerobics this morning. How are you, Monique?
I am very well. Good morning, everybody.
And how are you, Tony?
I'm going all right for now, but yeah, I'm my own worst critic, so yes.
We'll say greetings before we get into
it. Of course, yes. That's very professional of you there, Bec. Wow.
Thank you. So I'll jump straight into it, Monique, because it's really interesting what you do.
Thank you.
I'm intrigued.
Basically, so what does Learnerobics do? Because I've heard a few stories from you about it, but I'm just intrigued. There's so many exciting things that I think could come out for a lot of people in that.
Oh, thank you. Well, the short answer is I help children and adults with learning and reading challenges. The long answer is my son had his learning difficulties, and I tried so many things. It was speech therapy, it was tutoring, but they just didn't seem to stick, and I knew there was something else going on. So I finally, with all the research I did, because I was awake and worrying so often, I found a book called The Brain That Changes Itself by Dr. Norman Doidge.
Good book. I've actually got that book.
Fantastic book.
I've heard of it.
In there, I started to understand that it's happening in the brain, but I also started to understand that given the repetition, we can improve things. So we can't cure anything. We can't cure dyslexia. We can't cure autism or anything. But what we can do is improve the way we can put a demand on the brain to improve certain pathways.
No, honestly, I read the book, The Brain That Trains Itself, and it's really interesting to see. I think they're like case studies of different things that have happened, and it's amazing to see what the outcomes.
Now, just to clarify, is it trains itself or changes itself?
Changes
itself.
Yes.
Right.
Because the brain is constantly evolving.
Yeah, it's okay. Just clarify, yeah.
The brain is constantly changing, so whatever our brain is designed to adapt to whatever our environment is. So that's why we hear English, we understand English because we hear English a lot. But if we grew up in a different country, our brain would adapt to that and would code that language in.
I know, this is a little bit of a personal thing, but I know that when I went and got brain scans, the specialist.
The neurologist?
I think that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, the neurologist. He looked at me and he said, I need to give you a hug. I said, why is that? And he goes, because you just showed me how plasticity of the brain works.
Yes.
You've rewired everything in your brain.
Wow.
Whoa, okay.
That's so exciting because we have all grown up with the idea that the brain can't change once we're adults. And it's not true.
No.
It's adapting all the time and changing all. It's making new connections. It's repurposing pathways that you're not using anymore. And as long as you know how to put that demand, that repetitious
yes.
command on your brain all the time, things will improve. So if you don't have a good memory, you can improve it. It's just how much work you want to put into it.
The way that I said it to my mother, and she just laughed at me and said, you're a weirdo. I said, it's like a hard drive of a computer. I can delete, restore, and move files around as I need to.
Defrag, yes. All the computer terms, right?
Yeah. Sorry for those people that aren't quite sure. I'm trying to say it in the basic way. But yeah, so say it's on the left side, but I need something on the right side, so I'll swap it over and it can work on that side instead as well. So
yes. Well, it is changing all sorts of rehabilitation You know, where people used to say, oh, that left hand of yours, you can't use that anymore. So people would stop using it, and then go figure the pathways for that in the brain would eventually get repurposed for other things. But if you keep starting off with little micro movements or even massage, just to keep those nerves alive and going, and you keep trying, keep going. Yes, it is a lot of work, micro movements, but you
So
can
true.
bring things back.
It's
Well,
like big on my robotic arm hand.
Yeah, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And people who have been told that they would never walk again, like a brain injury student that I'm working with at the moment, he was told at 4, his parents were told at 4 that he'd never walk again. He's up walking around, and I take a walk around the neighbourhood every afternoon with him.
That's amazing. Yeah, there's just so many good things that come out of that. And so I suppose we touched on why you actually started. But what made you decide to open your own business to actually share this with other people once you discovered this great tool to retrain everything?
Well, it was before I understood how difficult it was to run a business, but nevertheless.
That's something that most people
glad.
go, oh, I didn't realise that was so in depth and there was a lot to it.
There is a lot to it, but underlying everything for me is the idea that there are children or people either sitting in a classroom or sitting at work, and they're not quite understanding the instructions they're getting. They're refusing to read. They're not able to go forward in life if they want to, because they're stuck in this, you know, and what I don't like is the I'm not good enough language that comes with that. I can't participate in society as well as all those people can because they can read. And that's what drives me.
They lack the, so dare I say, the self-courage? Or
Yes. Yeah. I've learned. I saw it with my son. He just would refuse after a while. So at first he tried really hard because we have an instinct to try and keep up with the rest of the class, or the herd basically is what's really going on. Now, that's what our brain is thinking. And so they want to work really, really hard, but after a while they see, I'm never going to get to the point that the other kids are, and they get the texts that they're reading are becoming more and more complex.
Yep.
So my son was actually reading in year 2. So later on I was thinking, does he have dyslexia? No, because he was reading in year 2. So what was happening? What it was that his brain couldn't process things fast enough, so it couldn't keep up. And so even though he could read simple texts, he couldn't read the more complex things when they got to year 5, 6 and so on.
And I'm just curious, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is it, because I did netball coaching years ago, Tony's sister, Angelina, coached her for netball, and I found when I was doing it, I had to do it 3 different ways. I'd write it on a board, show them how I want it to be done.
To communicate, get through to them, for the child to comprehend, So I was visual, then I was audio, telling them how we're going to do it, and then it was practical, actually doing it. And different ones picked it up straight away, just by looking at the board. Other ones I had to explain to, and then others we actually had to do it, and I felt like that covered everything to make sure.
Well, that's what you're describing there is multisensory learning, and that is very, very beneficial for many, many children. People just have their different preferences or styles, but with auditory processing, they're not really hearing the difference between little speech sounds. So we're going right down into the nitty-gritty of communication here. And if they're not hearing the difference between sounds like I and eh, or b and p, you don't know if they're hearing big or beg or pig or peg. So they're getting more and more confused.
Wow.
They're getting very confused. But they don't know it because they don't know that they're hearing any differently.
Clever use of
everyone else.
alliteration there.
Thank you. I've done a lot of work on that.
I still remember a lot of stuff from high school because my long-term memory is still ship-shape.
Yep.
I remember high school, but I've forgotten the university. Well, the majority of university stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
It's interesting, but like we can develop that. If the capacity's not there now, we can build it. A lot of people, I don't know if you know a fellow called Jim Quick. So he
Jim
was
Quick.
Jim Quick. So
As in Quick Draw
KWIK.
McGraw type thing?
He's well, not QUICK, but
Is he?
KWIK.
Did he start
Quick
the
Copy?
paper? Quick copy, yeah.
No, he's
We thought the same thing. Quick copy.
he's a fellow who grew up in America, and he had a brain injury at school. So they went to have a look at the fire engine, I think, that was parked outside. He fell, hurt his head, and then he couldn't learn properly after that. He had a
Shame.
as with many kids, have a terrible time at school. Couldn't read. He actually remembers a teacher saying, "Oh, that's the boy with the broken brain." He remembers that. He's got a beautiful story, but he ended up, and I'll give you the short version, but he's got a beautiful, beautiful story. He ended up finding some exercises himself. He worked it out himself, and he gave himself all this repetition. He's now a memory expert.
I was going to say, is he like a super brain coach? Yeah.
Yes.
I think I've watched a seminar on him.
Oh, he's incredible.
I'm thinking, I've heard that name before.
That's right.
yeah.
As a little boy, he dreamed of becoming one of the mutant Ninja Turtles. Not the mutant, the mutants.
Teenage Mutant.
Yeah.
No, not the mutant ninja. Sorry, I'm a bit older than all of that. But no, the mutants in the School of Gifted Children on
X-Men.
Xavier,
X-Men.
X-Men.
Yeah, he used to look for them because he thought he would belong there. But now he's got a beautiful photo with all the stars of that movie because he helped them with their lines. And remember, it's an incredible story.
So he helped them with their dialogue.
So
in
it's
the
come
movie.
full circle.
And he can remember the most
he's now
amazing
the
things
master.
now. Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful.
The student has become the master. Awesome. Well, I'll flick you now,
I think it's
Tony.
about time we change to a song then. I've got some Foreigner coming up with Cold Advice from 1977 album Foreigner, self-titled. There we go. Vox FM. Yes, that was just Cold as Ice by Foreigner, from the self-titled album Foreigner. Lovely.
I suppose you can't go wrong that way. It's letting people know you're pretty important. Call yourself by a band name.
So you get you can't forget the band name and the album name, all the same. Lovely.
Yeah, it's all there. It's all there.
All in one word. Beautiful. Okay, getting back to interview.
Yes, so Monique,
Yes, that's the one.
touching on Learnerobics and how it can help and all the different ways, all the different ways of the learning styles. So for you, is there a set thing that you do with people, or do you adapt it according to the person?
So what I have is access to an online program that was written by neuroscientists and linguists and educational psychologists, and there are a lot of people involved. So the program actually comes from America, and it's a big thing. It's not something I could have ever have written. And what it does is it gives people a lot of repetition with these sounds and other activities. So what we're actually working on is also the ability to pay attention, the ability to remember things, and to especially auditory memory. So one of the games or exercises is they might have to hold on to a sound like ba while they're hearing da, sa, ka, la, and then be able to make a match when ba comes up. Now, so it's an easy way to explain how they have to hold that in that memory, that sound in their memory, but they also have to hear the difference between all those sounds to make that match. So they get a lot of repetition at that. Another one is where they listen to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of beeps, and the beeps are quite different in pitch and timing at first, so it might be duh, ah, to begin with. They're all the natural tones of natural speaking.
Yeah.
But as they work through and they pass all the levels, they get closer and closer. So at the end of that module, you can hardly hear the difference between the sounds at all, but the kids can hear it, or the student can hear it because they've been through that process. And they don't pass, so it's adapting to them. So a lot of people will need a lot of repetition at this level, but not so much at this level. So it's constantly adapting to them.
Okay.
And I can see what's happening on my end, and I monitor them. So I actually work with the parents and with mum. An adult student does it all by themselves online, and we get in touch once a fortnight, and I give them all the support they need about the program. But I believe a very big part of this is also the coaching and getting through that mindset of I can't, or I won't, and moving through that.
Build up the self-confidence, yes?
That's right. And we might talk about different things, like it's a combination of growth mindset coaching, so that idea of changing I can't to I can't do it yet. Wow. And introducing a word like yet can be very, very powerful. But it's moment. Also about changing expectations. You know, a lot of people...
That is so true.
Yeah, a lot of people expect that they're going to be able to do something perfectly within a few tries. We throw that out the window. Learning is awkward, messy, confusing.
Many steps to take,
yes. That's right.
And my line is, there is no failures.
That's it.
Only learnings to do it better next time.
That's right. Well, we learn from our mistakes, you know. Being open to learning from you, instead of hiding your mistakes, that's another thing I talk about. If we hide our mistakes, is a almost an instinctual thing to do. We don't want to be discovered that we've made a mistake. But if we can embrace it...
We can't. So how people know that we're only human.
That's right. We don't learn that way, you know, so learning from our mistakes or seeing mistakes as feedback.
I think I was talking about the other day with a lady from Community Industry Group.
Yep.
I think I've overridden my flight mode, and now I just fight.
Oh, fight or flight?
Yeah, I just fight. Yes. So I don't care how many times it takes me to figure it out or get it right, but I just keep going, next one.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Well, there's different things we're fighting in there. So I talk about another thing I talk about is the three brains that we have. We have a survival brain, we have an emotional brain, and we have a smart brain. And our smart brain isn't online till we're about 25.
So yes, I think I've seen that presentation, and I felt like I was a bit like Spock at the end after we talked about it. I'm like, oh no.
That's a good thing, because once you can identify what is instinctual, which is survival,
yes,
what is emotional, which is also survival, but that's kind of our need to fit in. Herd and pack mentality, and being part of a group and accepted by people. And when I have my imposter syndrome, such as when I'm appearing on radio interviews,
it's okay. There's no one that can see it. It's so good.
My little emotional instincts are saying, "Oh, this is a bit scary," but I'm learning to override that with my smart brain.
Sorry to interrupt.
And just keep going forward.
You said smart brain, and you said you didn't really people don't realise it until they're 25. So would you consider it maybe more of a maturity level?
Oh, it's definitely.
Yes.
It's definitely. So it's that ability to... The smart brain is all about forecasting, predicting. Well, the brain is always predicting, especially the survival brain. It's always predicting danger. It's always looking out for it. But it's more about analysing. It's more about using logic and reasoning. All those sorts of things, which other animals can't do. That's what makes us uniquely human, and that gives us our language ability and all sorts of things. So that being able to understand the consequences, we can look forward and as an adult and we can say, oh, that's not going to be a good idea, but we don't have that capability as children.
No, yeah. They just see someone on the other side of the road and they're off. They don't think, oh, I better look this way and that way. They just...
That's all our job as parents to train, and as older members of the community to help our children understand those things.
Yeah. So that was just one example I can think of. But yeah. Oh, would you like to go to some music, Tony?
Sure. I'll get you some Stranglers with Golden Brown from the album La Folie, 1981 album, I should say. Okay, so now getting straight back into it now with Monique and Bec. Go for it.
No worries. So, we're talking about your online capacity earlier. So, what does that mean? Because you are online, does that open you up to...
It sure does. It means that I can help anybody in Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
But doesn't online mean the world? Because the internet's everywhere.
Not necessarily. It does.
Oh, yes,
but I have a licensing agreement with the program that I can only sell it in Australia. So that is the restriction.
So though you're exposed to the world effectively through the internet, you can only reach people within this country. That's right.
But I also have a brain health side of things. So I did some study with Dr. Daniel Amen as a licensed brain health trainer, and I'm developing that side of things at the moment. But I can coach brain health topics that I can do all around the world.
Beautiful.
Oh, so that one's open.
That's open.
And I'm curious because I've not heard of this term before. What is brain health?
Once we understand that our brain is the most important thing we have, we want to look after it, and one of Dr. Daniel Amen's big things is whatever you do, it is either good or bad for your brain. So once you are aware of that choice, we know, for example, now that Alzheimer's is looking like it's diabetes type 3, so a result of high blood sugar. What happens when the little veins and corpuscles constrict, they can't deliver blood supply or nutrients to the finer parts of the brain, and so it starts to die off. Things like that. So, but coming down to things like hydration, making sure our brain does actually shrink. If we're dehydrated, it starts to shrink,
Go smaller, yes. So I've heard of even people that the doctors go, oh no, that's just because you're getting older.
Yeah, they take the easy road out by saying just because you're getting older, it's not really assessing the issue at hand.
That's right.
So I know that I've always been told since I was a toddler, thereabouts, that water was very important, because I know the human body is like 97% water.
It's something like that, yeah. And the brain is just, it's higher order functions depend
exactly
on that.
So hydration is lifeblood.
Yeah, it's really important. But and it comes down to our thoughts as well. So we go through a process of what thoughts are we having. I love it when he says, "Don't believe every silly thought that you have." Because we end up with a lot of silly thoughts, and if we really acted out on them, we'd be crazy. That's where our smart brain comes in and says, not a good idea.
Yes. That you can overlook that sort of thing, push it aside, and yes.
Yeah, we can let out those instincts, especially when we get defensive. If someone has offended us or, things like that, it's easy. That's the easy thing to do, is to overreact and get defensive and bring out our nasty side.
Yes, our friend Tony, our friend Jason from IBES.
Right, of course. Mr. Cusack,
yes. Yes, he always says that it's the reactive brain.
Yes.
And you have to override that.
I
actually got told years ago off no one, medical or anything like that, just a guy I went out with. I think you should just think and maybe say every third thing that comes into your head, because the first two are a bit crazy.
Well, how interesting is that?
And the third one's okay.
There's 3 brains, so he's gotten to the smart brain.
Wow.
Yes.
There you go, and I didn't actually think he was quite a bright guy. So
there's little gems everywhere.
Maybe.
It may have been just a picked out of magic, total, not genius from nowhere.
You know what I think, though? Something is heard somewhere, because that is something that most people don't realise they actually do. Quite a lot of. They take on thoughts they've heard somewhere else and think, oh, that sounds like a good idea, I might try that.
This is interesting. I think that's the process of growing up, because we accept what we're born into, and it's only as we get 12, 13, 14 that we start to question things, and is this what I want to take on for me? It's all part of the growing up process.
Yes. Or even around that age bracket that you realise that other people are saying are probably smarter than you are, so you tend to borrow their ideas and take them on as your own.
Yeah.
As you say, every second or third thing, well then, the third thing is a power, magic 3.
Yes, it's imitation is actually an important part of our development. You see our children are constantly imitating us. If they see us on the phone a lot, they'll just do the same thing.
That is so true. My mother, when I was younger, yelling at us and obscenities and all sorts, the phone rang. She picked up the phone.
Total
and went,
change of persona.
hello, how are you? And I
Okay.
went, wow, she's got bipolar or something. Because, like, how did you do that? But now
You
I
understand.
can be in that mode
If we could
myself.
break down that process, that's actually really interesting. So, her emotional brain, which is kind of connected to our mammalian self, 'cause
Yeah.
we are mammals after all, and so she's thinking that part of the herd's not going to accept me if I am in that state.
Yes.
So that turns on, but then she's also using her smart brain because she understands the consequences. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I actually do it now because I answer reception phones at work. And I could be in a total different mode talking to someone about something that I don't like, and then I just go, hang on a moment. Hello, Flakes.
Well, and it comes down to as well.
You're
like
aware
when
of
we're
the
at-
part. Sorry.
Sorry.
You're aware of the part you have to play. Yes.
Yeah.
Separate from the life in the moment.
Yeah, you gotta, they used to say it was, compartmentalization.
Yes.
And you can shut something off and turn something else
That's
on
right.
in the
It's-
blink of
well,
an eye.
Our brain is also, there's a lot of excitatory things going on, which is going forward and doing something, but there's also a lot of inhibitory things happening. So turn that off.
Inhibitory.
There's a lot of excitatory and inhibitory stuff going on all the time.
So inhibitory means it holds you back. Yes?
That's right. That's right. And we need that.
Yes.
You know, these are the things we need to practice as
Put
well.
on the brakes.
Yes. So don't want to go there.
Yeah, we can't go 100 miles an hour around the corner, so we've got to slow down. And,
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. But it's also, say we were listening to music, you know, there are music neurons getting all excited and our language ones might be turning off. So it's not just choice and behaviour.
yes.
Okay, I'm curious now, because what happens when you remember all the words to the song?
Oh, there's both going on, obviously.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm
look,
like, hang
gosh,
on.
I was thinking of a piece that was just music.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
sorry.
yes, because
Instrumental.
Yes.
Right.
because
Thank
I'm
you.
weird. I can remember words from songs when I was like 4 and
Yeah.
stuff.
No, that's good.
It's-
Yeah.
That's
So
long
our
term,
brain
v short term.
is doing these things at lightning speed, all three brains all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. And receiving signals from our body as well and getting input from the rest of our body through the five senses. And our brain does so much. I'll give you a good example. So I can sing a song in French and I can sing it nicely and I can sound like I speak
Understand what
beautiful
you're saying,
French.
yes.
But I don't understand a word I'm saying because I've never gone through the process of attaching meaning to it.
But
That's
if you
so
have the
funny.
Francais accent, you can say anything you want to, huh?
Yeah.
No,
No
it's,
offense, no
it's
offense.
quite funny because I done the German program, filled in for a while ago.
Yes.
I read it wonderfully. I have no idea what any of
Exactly.
that said.
Because
no idea.
See, there's more than... Remember I was talking before about the language and the language sounds and how our brain is doing that. And that's necessary for when we're reading to attach sounds to letters so that our brain can assemble the word and make sense of it and know how to say it and know what word is coming. But it's about meaning. It has to attach meaning to things as well. And meaning is multifaceted. I mean, if you think of the word mother, for example, you can think of a mother in the traditional sense, but you might also start to think of your mother and you start going down another track again
Yeah.
of all the different things that means.
Multifaceted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just wondering, can you...
You gotta breathe.
Yeah, we're gonna breathe. Gonna do that.
Take
you
a
know.
breath, darling.
Can you... I'm getting excited about what I'm hearing.
It's okay.
Inhibitory.
Do you want us to take a break? I'll play a song.
No,
first?
no, I've got to go one more.
You've got the finger. One more. Okay.
Yeah, it's the moving finger. No.
The power of the moving finger.
Can you tell us what are some of the results that you're getting? Because I'm sure you've got some wonderful stories.
I do have some wonderful stories. So I'm building up more and more. Most of the results I get are, my child is engaging in school better. It's not, how do I say it? It's not immediate because of all the repetition that has to go through. So
it's not instant.
That's right. It takes about 3 to 6 months, and it's 30 minutes, 5 days a week.
Yep, it's got to be dedicated.
So it can be quite intense, but what will mostly happen is kids will feel more confident about engaging. They'll want to read texts, for example, where they didn't want to read before. They may be more open to reading. I had a lady the other day and she said her son was reading street signs all of a sudden. He'd never done that before. So to me, it's not so much about the academic results. It's about the ability to understand what's going on around us and to be able to reply to that and respond to that. Other results we have, their comprehension goes up. And just their approach to learning. So a little boy who had been sitting back from the classroom and not wanting to engage at all decided to start getting involved in the quizzes and things that they did, and so things were going from there. For me, it's all about the process and the progress, so it's not immediately measurable as, he's all of a sudden getting 100 out of 100 for this test and that test. It's not so much about that for me. It's for me, we look at the improvements that are being made. And
it won't be perfect, but it'll be definitely noticeable.
That's right. And
if you're looking for
definitely,
it. That's right, yes.
Definitely noticeable, and it will show more in their confidence. We get their sporting performance improving because they're actually able to listen to instructions from the coach better.
That's what it comes back to, ability.
Yeah.
Hence the name, Ability Matters. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry for the little 2 cents quote.
No, that's okay.
But I'm
Play on words. It's all good.
Nice.
I'm probably the most proud of a student I've been working with. He's 58. He's had a brain injury since he was 4, and his short-term memory hasn't been the best. But he's starting to remember my punchlines from jokes, and that to me that's gold.
He's telling you before your
That's
answer.
it.
And now I know from personal experience what happened to me was I think my short-term memory was bad. Like I'm talking 51st dates bad. Like, you know that movie?
But not as bad as 5-second Tom.
No, with 10-second Tom, but yes.
On 10-second Tom.
That's how it was in the early days, but it's obviously come a lot better since
That's
then.
right.
But time, and I believe that the key term there is repetition,
That's
and of
it.
course dedication to the person themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think now is the right time for us to step aside for a moment, just give us all a break from talking. And now I think you'll like this one, Beck. I'm going to make a little Austin Powers quote here now. Do you all remember the band, the Alan Parsons Project?
Yes.
The Alan Parsons Project with their song Eye in the Sky, from the self-titled album Eye in the Sky from 1982. Yeah. Yes, as I just said, that was the Alan Parsons Project, Eye in the Sky from 1982, of album of, I think, the same name. Yeah, same name, self-titled. And Eye in the Sky and the Alan Parsons Project are a British rock band. Hence the Austin Powers thing, yes?
Maybe that's why he picked that song.
Perhaps. No, didn't pick the song.
The reference.
Yes,
the reference. Alan Parsons. But yes,
because the whole James Bond thing, James Bond being the British 007, that sort of thing, yeah.
Oh yes, so he's mimicking in a funny way.
I don't know how deep we're supposed to go with it, but let's get back to the human hand, shall we?
Yeah, it's a deep meaningful.
Between
I don't know anything about it.
Stepping right aside now, get back
All
into
right.
it.
Thank you. So we'll wrap up now, Monique. Thank you so much. It's been so interesting finding out
Very informative.
all the different bits and pieces that go up to make a brain function and work. But I'm just wondering, could you share a message with our listeners to remember? Because there may be some people out there that might look up Learnerobics, so maybe even a website or something where they can
contact details.
Oh, yes. Well, Learnerobics, the best place to go is probably the website, which is www.learnerobics.com.au. Watch the spelling on that.
All one word?
Yes, it is.
So do you want to spell it then for the
That's
listeners? LEARNEROBICS. Be careful with the search because people often end up with Learn Aerobics to do the exercise. Although I'm sure Google might help you lead you down the right path, perhaps.
I have to. That's something
Still
I have to
point.
learn is
Still
the
point.
SEO. Yeah, I have to learn more about SEO and marketing, and that's my process that I have to go through.
It's
Fun
right.
times.
Yes.
So is there anything that just a little tip that you can maybe help people with memory?
I've got a couple actually. It's really important. If your child is struggling with reading, don't let them struggle for too long because it takes a toll on their mental health and their belief in themselves. So if they're having trouble with spelling, they're sort of staying stuck in that learning to read mode and they're not moving into that fluency and their comprehension is low, things like that. Please get in touch with me because there definitely are things we can do about that. The other thing I want to give is there's a message of hope, really. We are more in charge of our brains than we realise. We tend to feel like a victim of our brain. And I know that there's some
that we're in charge of it, yeah.
That's right. And I know that there's some very, very big challenges, to work with. But you can change things. It requires that repetition, and it requires it for a reason. It prioritises the things you keep repeating because that's you telling the brain, this is important, I want this. And that's when you can start to take control of things. Now, there's obviously all sorts of different things to work with and many different challenges, but it does improve more than you think.
So true, so true. I think I'm a classic example of that.
You definitely are.
Determinate. I call it, my mum called it stubborn before. I was stubborn. But now it's determination.
That's it.
Because I'm not going to give up. So.
Well, it could be a bit of both, stubborn determination.
Well,
there you go.
Yes, it is, I think.
Well, that's a really good integration of stubborn.
Wonderful.
Is being determined. So.
Yeah.
Lovely.
But anyway, thank you so much for coming along today, Monique, and we'll love to have you back later on. Can tell us about some more wonderful things happening with Learnerobics. I hope that helps a lot of listeners out there thinking maybe this is something for me. Maybe I can do something to improve my situation. And I encourage you to try and find out a little bit more on how you can do that, because it's always worth trying.
I'm intrigued myself. Thank you very much.
I'm glad to do that. Curiosity is the most wonderful thing for learning.
I know the saying curiosity killed the cat, but...
Well, not necessarily.
I don't know how it applies to people.
It was on its 9th life.
Yeah, fair enough. Good point.
Yeah, it didn't have much to go. But
Okay.
I will hand over to you, Tony, and I'll say thank you so much to everyone for listening out there, and I'll be back again next week. Over to you. Music away.
I'm just going to get back into some tunes for the remainder.
Thanks for coming along, Monique.